Welcome to day 2 of Compassion Camp, where God helps us to be loved, be kind, be you. So, my name is Gwen McCann, and I am on staff here at Kensington Congregational Church. And it is wonderful to come to you today in this new virtual world that we're exploring. Yesterday at Compassion Camp, you learned that compassion helps us see and welcome others. Well, today we're going to learn that compassion helps us be brave. Can I see your brave faces out there? Oh, I think you can do better than that. Yes, I feel really brave when I stand up big and tall, kind of make myself big. How big can you make yourself? Wow, you really can make yourself big. Yes, so when I'm feeling a little scared or unsure, I tend to close my body off and look kind of scared. But I know that God is always with me, and that helps me feel brave. So show me your best brave look. I like to flex my muscles. That makes me feel very brave. And also remembering that God is always with me. So today at Compassion Camp, we're going to learn that we can be brave in all circumstances. I have my friend here today, Maddie, and she's going to come forward and help me with some scenarios on what we can do to feel brave. So, Maddie, today I want you to help me finish some of these sentences about how people can be brave. Can you think of ways that people can be brave in these different situations? Here we go. Mia has some extra food in her pantry. She can be brave and that was a great idea. I like that one. Maddie, do you have something?
She could share her food with the less fortunate.
Great idea, Maddie. How about this one? Taylor is a lifeguard. When someone is struggling in the water, Taylor can be brave and, someone out there said it, but there's no wrong answers here. What do you think, Maddie?
Taylor can save the person.
Great idea. Jaden sees a friend picking on a younger child. Is that bullying? Jaden can be brave and I think I heard a great idea. What's your idea?
Jaden can stand up for the child.
Oh, excellent. That's being brave. Sam notices the teacher never calls on Kai by the name they prefer. Sam can be brave and, it got quiet for a second. I think I heard someone give a great answer.
Sam can tell the teacher what name to call this person.
Good response. Ms. Perez notices her students are restless and need a break. Ms. Perez can be brave and, so many good answers. You guys got this.
I messed it up. Give the kids a break.
Kids love to have breaks in their school day. You all got that one because you know how that feels. Here's our last one, Maddie. Dr. Nigan, here's some people need help, some medical care, but can't afford it. He can be brave and you guys are catching on.
Do the medical care for free.
Excellent idea. That's showing real bravery. Thanks, Maddie, for your help. I appreciate it. We can be brave in so many different ways. Today, we're going to explore how compassion helps us feel brave. Every time you hear me or someone else say those words, I want you to do those motions. We feel compassion in our heart. So I want you to hold your heart. Compassion helps us feel brave. What does your brave stance look like? Is it the Wonder Woman? Is it the Muscle Man? Is it I got this brave? I'm sure you have a good brave look too. Today's song is all about being brave. Now, we know that compassion helps us feel brave, but we aren't always brave. Sometimes we do get scared, and that's okay. But I know that today's song with my friends Maddie and Jethro is going to help you remember that you are brave enough. Let's hear what they have to say. I want to hear you sing along and even follow the motions with my friend Jenna and me. Here we go. It's Brave Enough.
We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We can be brave. We can be brave because we're filled with love from the bottom of God's heart. We can be brave. We can be brave. We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We can be brave. We can be brave because we're filled with love from the bottom of God's heart. We can be brave. We can be brave. We can be brave. We can be brave. Now, you're brave too.
That was a great job, Jethro and Maddie. Thank you so much for helping out by singing that song. And thanks to you, Jenna, for those great moves. All right, so sometimes our compassion helps us make brave choices. And when we do, look out. God's power can restore our communities, our friendships, and ourselves. Later today, we will hear a Bible story, God's holy word. This story is about some heavy lifting, a huge hole, and some neighbors who took a risk to help their friend. We will see how one act of bravery changed a whole community. As we prepare to learn more about brave compassion, let's begin with a compassion prayer. I want you to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your head, because compassion is in our heart and in our head. This is a repeat after me prayer. I heard you say it. Great, you got it. Here we go. Dear Jesus, your compassion always looked like courage. Strengthen our hearts with your bravery as we reach out and lift up our siblings, near and far. Help us keep our eyes on you. Amen. Now, I am super excited to introduce my friends, Lucy Morrissey Corsetti and Jamie Uranaga, who will tell us today's Bible story about Jesus and the paralyzed man. We'll see how these friends teach us that compassion helps us be brave. Let's go. Today's Bible story comes from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. 4 friends bring their friend on a mat to Jesus. One day, Jesus visited someone's home. Everyone heard he was there. They were so excited to see him because they'd heard he'd healed and helped people to be a part of their communities again. A friend who was paralyzed, whose legs could not hold him to walk and jump and play, had his 4 friends take him to see Jesus. When the 4 friends got there, it was so crowded. There was no way to get to Jesus through all the people. They peered through the window, but it was standing room only. They had an idea. They walked to the back of the house where they found a stairway that led them up onto the roof of the house. And they made a hole in the roof above where Jesus was. Then they tied rope to the 4 corners of the mat, and they lowered their friend into the room. When Jesus saw their faith, he was encouraged. He told their friend, "I see you and love you. You are made whole for your community. Your sins have been forgiven." Some temple leaders, called scribes, were watching Jesus. When they heard him say this to the friend who was paralyzed, they were angry. They thought to themselves, "Who does Jesus think he is? Only God can say these things." Jesus could tell the scribes disagreed with him. So he said to them, "I know what you're thinking right now, but what's easier, to say, 'I see you and love you,' or 'get up and walk'? I'll show you that it's possible to do both." With compassion, Jesus turned to the friend who was paralyzed and said, "Get up, pick up your mat, and go home. You're healed now." So he stood up, amazed. He picked up his mat and went home with his 4 friends. Everyone was so happy. They praised God because they had never seen anything like this before. The end.
Listening with My Heart by Gabby Garcia, a story of kindness and self-compassion. Esperanza's tummy fluttered as she practiced her lines on the porch. Today was the class play. Waiting for Mama to walk her to school, she paced back and forth when she spotted a heart-shaped rock. Esperanza picked it up and showed it to Mama as soon as she stepped outside.
"I see you found a little treasure,"
said Mama. Esperanza rubbed its rough surface and felt a twinkle of joy.
Maybe it's a sign.
"For what?"
asked Mama. She thought about the class play later that afternoon, wondering what it would finally be like to be in the spotlight.
To put my heart into everything I do.
She answered. At that moment, they heard scratching and a soft cry. Esperanza peeked under the stairs and spotted a kitty shaking and shivering. No Mama in sight. She scooped the kitten onto her lap and cuddled her.
She's all alone. I think she's hungry.
Esperanza reached for her lunch bag, pinched off a piece of chicken, and offered it to the kitty, who gobbled it up.
Mama, I think the rock is a reminder to spread kindness and love. That's what we do when we listen with our hearts.
I think you're onto something,
said Mama.
Can we keep Cleopatra, please?
Asked Esperanza, who'd already named the kitty.
Queens are always welcome at our house,
said Mama.
If she's still here after school, we'll take her in.
At school, Esperanza was more focused on the play than on math or reading. Clutching her script during recess, she noticed Bao sitting alone on a bench. He was new in school this week and didn't speak much English. She wondered if he felt lonely or scared. Esperanza found a soccer ball and kicked it over to him. A smile spread across Bao's face. He stood, popped the ball in the air, then bounced it between his knee and his head a few times.
Dude's got moves,
thought Esperanza. They spent recess giggling and making up hand signals. Afterwards, Esperanza borrowed Miss Owen's English Vietnamese dictionary. She wrote friend in Vietnamese, drew a picture of Bao and her, then put it on his desk. Esperanza rubbed the rock in her pocket. Listening with her heart made her feel peaceful inside. Finally, it was time for the performance. It was too late for Bao to be in the play, but he stood at Miss Owen's side as a stagehand. Excitement bubbled as Esperanza awaited her cue. Esperanza walked on stage, tripped as she was about to say her first line, and splattered across the stage. When she got up, she forgot her lines, so Miss Owen whispered them to her from backstage. Heat rushed through Esperanza's body as all eyes were glued to her. She wished she could disappear.
I ruined the play,
thought Esperanza, rushing off stage as soon as she'd finished her part.
I messed up in front of everyone.
She tucked herself in behind some props so no one would see her. Esperanza noticed her body shaking and her face still burning. She took a deep breath and dug the rock out of her pocket. It was cracked and lopsided, just how she felt. Esperanza touched her hand to her heart and felt the disappointment. Bao found Esperanza a few minutes later and handed her a drawing with the word friend written above it. Esperanza nodded. She hadn't been treating herself like a friend. Esperanza realized this wasn't the first time she'd been unkind to herself. At the soccer game last weekend, she missed the ball that swooshed by her head and they lost the game.
Nice work,
a player from the other team yelled as the others laughed. Esperanza thought she'd let her team down and was the worst soccer player in the world. Thinking those thoughts had only made her feel worse. At the curtain call, Esperanza reminded herself she hadn't ruined the play. She had an accident, and accidents happen to everyone. Listening with her heart wasn't just about giving kindness and love to others, it was about giving it to herself, too. I can be a friend to myself, thought Esperanza. When Esperanza got home, she focused on her favorite things. She zipped down the hill on her bike, then spent the afternoon painting at the kitchen table. She also got the hug she needed from Mama and some cuddles from Cleocatra. The end.
Well done, Maddie. I knew you had a flair for the dramatic. It's such a great story about four friends showing compassion for their friend. And I hope you had fun coloring your mural piece for today. I can't wait to see how they all come together. I hope you're feeling ready for some hands-on craft time now, because my friend Haley Campanelli has a great project for today. Get ready to use your imaginations as you create some unique puppets. I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Hi, my name is Haley, and today I'll be guiding you through a craft. So, in our gathering today, we talked about different ways that people can be brave. In our story today, we heard about some brave people who helped a friend in need. So, in order to demonstrate how you can be compassionate and brave, we made puppets. This is called a paper bag puppet. In order to make it, you can print out some faces, then you cut them out and you glue them on. So, paper bag. This one is a glove puppet. It's made with pipe cleaners, bottle caps, and beads. You can use an unwanted glove, or for our next one, you can use an unwanted sock. So you just put it on your arm and you can make it talk. This one's made with yarn and googly eyes. So that said, in order to make the yarn hair, what you can do is you wrap the yarn around your finger, you cut it, you put it together, and then you cut the sides off. You then hot glue the middle of it to where you want the hair to be on the sock puppet. So in order to show compassion today, I made a scenario of which the puppets are being nice to each other. Hello. Hi. Do you want my extra chips? My mom packed me too. Of course. This is compassion because it's showing someone that you care by giving them a little bit extra. It can also be brave because if this isn't a person that you've talked to before, it's brave to show them that you can really reach out to them and you can make new friends while being brave. Thank you.
Thanks, Haley. I know you will all come up with some great puppet skits to show how compassion helps us be brave. But enough sitting around. Let's get ready to move and stretch. As we practice yoga with my friend Lisa. Lisa, are you ready for us? 'Cause it's time to stretch and breathe.
Hi, welcome to Vacation Bible School's lesson on movement. My name is Lisa, and I'm from Kensington Congregational Church. I am going to lead you through a breath yoga sequence connecting our bodies with compassion's gift of bravery. If you have different physical abilities, you can adjust them to reflect your capabilities. You just focus on the breath portions because the breath itself is a powerful way to connect with the body. Yoga began as a spiritual practice in ancient India, centering on bringing the mind, body, and spirit into oneness and the divine. This meaningful practice has grown globally, with people of all faiths and belief systems finding nourishment in different ways, a powerful reminder of how we learn from one another. When we say namaste, we connect with siblings across the world. Breathing is the heart of yoga. If you sit on the floor, legs crossed like I am, and you take 3 slow breaths together. I am brave. I am brave. I am brave. Our next pose will be mountain pose. You slowly rise out of your cross-legged and stand with your feet firmly planted on the ground and your hands at your side. You're going to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out.
In mountain pose, we feel our strength. We are unshakable.
And you do those breaths for 4 times. Our next pose is you reach your arms to the sky, and I'm going to turn so that you can see, and you slowly come down to earth and bend at the waist, called Uttasana. And your hands are on the ground, rising back to your shins or wherever you're comfortable.
We prepare and focus our eyes forward.
Take a breath and bring your hand back down to forward fold, and repeat this motion 3 times. Take a breath and stop at your knees. And then fold, and then raise, and this will be your last one, and fold, and raise. You're going to go from the forward fold with your hands on the ground, and you are going to pop your feet back into what's called plank.
We face the sun and welcome with courage what this day holds for us.
You lower your lower body to the ground and you raise your head to the sky. Your next pose is down dog. You fold your toes and you press it back into a triangle. Now you will take your right foot and you will raise it and you'll bring it between your front hands, and then raise your arms up to the pose called warrior.
In warrior, we feel focus, power, and stability. We are strong and brave.
Hold this for 5 seconds. Swoop your arms back down between your foot and bring your foot back to plank. And bring back into down dog. Hold that position for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you'll raise your left leg and bring it between your hands. And bring your arms up, back into warrior. Hold. Bring your foot back and go back into down dog. Hold that, and you can raise your feet and bring them flat to the ground. Stretch out the backs of your legs. Don't forget to breathe. Now you're going to fold and bring your body back up to standing. Reach for the sky. Bring your arms back and go to the center of your mat. You're going to reach your arms to the sky. You're going to bring them down. Bring them up into prayer. This is the end of our practice. Namaste. The light in me sees the light in you. Have a blessed day.
Namaste, Lisa. The light in me honors the light in you. That was great. I love taking some time to relax my body and center myself with some deep breaths. I am brave. I am brave. Mom and Dad, did you join in? I know that sometimes you need to relax and center yourself too. Yoga is great for the whole family. Are you ready to move on to our next station? I'm going to invite Maddie back to show us how compassion helps us be brave. Oh, I missed my cue. How compassion helps us be brave. With our Compassion Art Project skits. Come on over, Maddie and Jenna. Let's see what you have in store for us. Haley, thanks so much for showing us how to make those great puppets. I can't wait to see what kind of skits you guys will come up with your puppets. And I have my friends behind me, Maddie and Jenna, and they have some skits to show you on how you can use your new puppets. Hit it, girls.
Oh no, I'm so lost at this new school. I can't find the cafeteria anywhere.
Hi, I can help you find the cafeteria. Follow me.
Thank you.
Compassion helps us be brave.
Oh no, what happened?
I tripped and fell. Could you help me?
Of course, I'll go get the nurse.
Okay, thank you.
Compassion helps us be brave.
These are so heavy. I wish someone could help me.
Sir, I'll help you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Compassion helps us be brave. Well, that's a wrap of day 2 of our Compassion Camp, where we learn how God invites us to be loved, be kind, be you. What was today's point? Compassion helps us be brave. That's right. And so being brave sometimes means we don't know what's going to happen when we show up. The friend who was paralyzed in today's Bible story didn't know if his friends would help. He didn't know if he would get to see Jesus. The friends didn't know what would happen when they got to the house to see Jesus. Maybe they wouldn't get to go into the house. Maybe the religious leaders or even Jesus would see them and turn them away. Maybe the friend who was paralyzed didn't receive the healing that he was in need of. Let's think about these questions together. How were the 4 friends brave? You've got some good ideas out there. How was the friend who was paralyzed brave? Oh, I like those answers. Who else do you think was brave in this story? You got it. You are onto this. Compassion helped each of them be brave. The friend who was paralyzed had the courage that helped him trust his friends and ask Jesus for help. The friend's courage made them determined to do all that they could to help their friend. Jesus' courage showed the friend who was paralyzed he was loved and accepted. We can be brave because we are filled with God's love, and God always promises to be with us. Let's sing our brave song again. Let's invite our friends, Maddie and Jethro, to lead us in Brave Enough. And Jenna, you got those moves, sister. Help us out.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Jethro, and today we'll be singing a song called Brave Enough, and I hope you join in with us.
We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We can be brave. We can be brave because we're filled with love from the bottom of God's heart. We can be brave. We can be brave. We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We can be brave. We can be brave because we're filled with love from the bottom of God's heart. We can be brave. We can be brave. We can be brave. We can be brave.
Now, you're brave too.
I love that song, and I'm going to have it stuck in my head all day today. I bet you will too. So let's close together and get ready for our next day of Compassion Camp. So in closing today, when we see people are sad, happy, lonely, scared, or hurt, we feel it with them. And that's called empathy. That's the first step, to act on our empathy. We follow Jesus' example when we do that. Sometimes it's helping someone to do something hard. Sometimes it's just about being honest about who we are and what we need. And sometimes it's showing love and acceptance for the person who's right in front of us. These things can be hard. It's okay. We can trust God to give us the courage to be brave and to show our compassion. Let's close today the same way we opened, by placing one hand on our heart and one hand on our head as we pray. We are doing this because compassion happens in our brains and we feel it in our heart. This is a repeat after me prayer. I heard you. Dear Jesus, your compassion always looked like courage. Strengthen our hearts with your bravery as we reach out and lift up our siblings near and far. Help us keep our eyes on you. Amen. Before we say goodbye for today, I just want to remind you that included in today's material is a prayer coloring page that you might use to reflect on day 2 of Compassion Camp. And there is a daily examine card, which is a great way to end your day at home with your family. See you tomorrow for day 3 of Compassion Camp.